Deflation is when the general prices in an economy decrease. This situation usually indicates that the economy is struggling. At first, it might seem like a good thing because everything is getting cheaper. But deflation can actually harm the economy a lot. For example, let's say you want to buy a phone. Right now, you can buy a phone for $200. But after a week, you hear that the price has dropped to $180. And then you hear that it will drop to $160 the following week. Suddenly, you think, maybe I should wait a bit longer, it might get even cheaper. Other people start thinking the same way. As a result, stores are having a hard time selling the phones. Prices keep dropping, but since sellers aren't making any money, some of them might be forced to shut down their stores. People lose their jobs and those who are unemployed spend less. This worsens the economy even further. Another example could be store discounts. Let's say there's a clothing store where a pair of jeans costs $50. The store owner lowers the price to $40 to attract more customers. At first, it looks very attractive to buy the jeans for $40, so people go and buy them. But as prices keep dropping week by week, people start delaying their purchases because they think prices will keep falling. This leads to stores losing money, laying off employees, and closing down. Another example is the impact of deflation on debts. Let's say someone took a $1,000 loan from the bank. There's also an interest rate attached, like 5% annually. After taking the loan, prices start to fall. At the same time, their income also decreases because sales at their workplace have dropped, and companies are making less money. As prices fall, the real value of their debt increases. In other words, the $1,000 they borrowed becomes more expensive. However, since their salary is lower, it becomes harder for them to repay the loan. Deflation can make paying back debts more difficult. Let's look at another example related to government spending. Imagine the government decides to renovate roads, bridges, and hospitals. These projects create job opportunities for many workers and engineers. People start working and they spend more money, which boosts the economy. However, during deflation, it can be harder for the government to make such spending decisions. Like everyone else, the government might think that it needs to cut back and spend less. If there's a major crisis or uncertainty in the country, deflation's effects can become even stronger. For example, if the country faces a major natural disaster or an economic crisis, people might sell their homes or cars and avoid luxury spending. This leads to a decrease in demand. When demand drops, prices fall. People start thinking, if prices are dropping, I'll wait to make purchases. But this situation leads to even more harm to the economy. Another example is what happens in the production side of things. Let's say a factory produces and sells 1,000 cars in a month. But if deflation starts, people stop buying cars because they believe the prices will drop further. As a result, the factory finds it hard to sell its products. This leads to reduced profits for the factory. When profits fall, the factory might start laying off workers, which increases unemployment. When people lose their jobs, they spend even less, which further reduces demand and causes prices to drop even more. So, what about inflation, which is the opposite of deflation? Inflation is when prices increase. For example, a phone you could buy for $200 today might cost $220 next year due to inflation. In this situation, people might think, prices will keep increasing, so I should spend more now. This can boost the economy. However, if inflation gets too high, money loses its value. And this can prevent people from saving. This is why both inflation and deflation can destabilize the economy. To fight deflation, countries sometimes lower interest rates. Banks offer loans at lower interest rates, which makes it cheaper for people to borrow money and spend. However, this may not always work. If people are worried or unwilling to borrow, they might continue to avoid spending. In conclusion, deflation might seem good at first because things get cheaper, but it can lead to economic instability, higher unemployment, less spending, and a harder life for people. Maintaining balance in the economy is crucial, as neither deflation nor inflation should dominate. Both situations harm the economy and make life harder.